Peppa Pig and the Splish-Splashy Day. The rain came down with a plip and a plop. It filled all the puddles from bottom to top. Little Peppa Pig woke up from her bed. "Muddy puddles!" she squealed inside her small head. She ran to the window and pressed her pink nose. The garden was muddy, from petals to prose. Her brother, young George, still sleepy and small, heard Peppa's loud giggle and woke up with a call. "George, George," she whispered, "the world is all wet. We need to put boots on right now, don't forget." They zoomed down the staircase, a flash and a blur, for the biggest adventure that day would confer. Mummy Pig watched as they rushed to the door. "Be careful, my darlings, and wipe off the floor." Daddy Pig nodded, with a wink and a smile. "Remember the rule? Have fun for a while." Peppa ran first to the puddles so deep. She took a big jump with a whoop and a leap. Splash! Went the water high up in the air, getting mud on her dress and some dirt in her hair. George stood on the edges, quite timid and slow. "Don't worry, little brother. It's fun, don't you know?" He wriggled his nose, gave his sister a grin, and took a small hop to the mud he was in. Then George grew quite brave. With a kick and a stomp, he splashed a huge wave from the deep, muddy swamp. He splashed all of Peppa, who laughed with delight. This muddy adventure was perfectly right. A huge, muddy puddle, the biggest they'd found, stretched out like a river all over the ground. "This one is massive. We must jump in here," cried Peppa and George, forgetting all fear. They both jumped together. It was a huge spray, and that's how they finished their marvelous day. They squelched all the way back, both sticky and brown, the muddiest piggies in all of the town. Mummy and Daddy Pig laughed at the sight. "Now time for a bath. You're a muddy delight." "But first," said Peppa with a giggle and sigh, "we must jump in puddles, you know, when it's high." The Tale of the Flashing Patty. The Krusty Krab was closed, the lights were all low, but SpongeBob was busy, putting on a big show. "Today," he declared, "is the anniversary bash. I'll make a new patty, a culinary flash." He cleaned every spatula, he scrubbed every pan, he fetched all the pickles from a rusty tin can. His friend Patrick peeked through the service boat door. "A flashy patty needs something more." Patrick brought in a bucket, a murky green pail, full of swamp water, a wiggly sea snail. "For flavor," he whispered with a mischievous grin. "It's a secret technique. Let's toss the stuff in." SpongeBob gulped down a gasp, but he tried to be nice. "It needs fancy flavors, not just swamp water spice." He grabbed a huge bottle of the freshest perfume. "We'll add a quick spritz to get rid of the gloom." Right outside the window, reclining with grace, sat Squidward, who hated this terrible place. He tried to ignore all the noisy, bright fuss while reading a book titled The Quiet Octopus. A whiff of the perfume flew straight through the vent. It reached Squidward's nose, and his temper was spent. "That smell! It's too sweet, too floral, too vile. Can't a guy get some peace for a little short while?" Back inside the kitchen, the flashy patty was done. It shimmered, it sparkled, the most beautiful one. But when SpongeBob took a small bite of the dish, it tasted like perfume and swampy green fish. Patrick grabbed the whole patty and took a huge chomp. "It's perfect!" he shouted. "It tastes just like swamp!" He danced with the patty, he twirled and he spun, until he tripped over a jar and the flashy was done. The mess was enormous. The flavor was gone. SpongeBob sat down sadly. "From dusk until dawn, I tried to be better, to change what was great. I ruined the patty before it could rate." Patrick hugged SpongeBob and said, "Don't you frown? The best is the one that has always been round. The original patty is the truest of all." So they made the old kind and had a great ball. The Ballad of the Rainbow Sting. The day was quite sunny, the air smelled of brine, when SpongeBob and Patrick planned something divine. "We'll catch the great rainbow, the king of the field." Patrick yelled, "With a jar, its bright magic revealed." Their nets swung and swooshed, their shoes made a squish, as they looked for the legendary, magical fish. But Patrick saw Bubbles, a game quite absurd. Let's blow one so big that it floats past a bird. No, Patrick, we must be focused and calm. The rainbow jelly is worth more than a psalm. But Squidward was there, on a chair made of wood, trying to read The Joy of Being Misunderstood. Oh, please, Squidward sighed, rolling eyes made of dread. A rainbow jelly is all in your head. You boys are too silly, too loud, and too... He stopped as a flash of bright color flew through. It's real, yelled out SpongeBob, eyes sparkling with glee. Come on, friend, let's chase it, just you and just me. They dashed through the flowers and jumped over rocks, their nets swinging wildly like two jumping clocks. The jellyfish chuckled, a bright, silent sound, as it led them right over a sticky, soft mound. It was a huge glob of warm, sugary taffy, left from a picnic, quite gooey and dafty. Patrick dove in head first with a cheerful, "Hooray!" Then found he was stuck in the soft, sticky clay. "We're caught," Patrick sighed. "This taffy is cruel," SpongeBob replied. "We've broken the jellyfish rule." Then who should appear with a smug, knowing grin but Squidward, who found their whole state quite a win. "Well, well," he declared with a tentacle wave, "it seems that the rainbow is much, much more brave." The rainbow jelly watched them, then floated down low. It zapped the soft taffy with a bright, gentle glow. The sting broke the sugar, the stickiness lost. They tumbled right out, at a negligible cost. "It saved us," gasped Patrick. "It's a friend, not a pet." The jellyfish winked, with a smile they won't forget. It flew high above them, a beautiful sight, to be chased and enjoyed, but not held in the light. The Ballad of the Bot Test. The sun shone so bright on Bikini Bottom sand, where SpongeBob prepared for the wheel in his hand. "Today," he declared, "I will pass the boat test. I'll show Mrs. Puff that I am the best." He hurried to boating school, quick as a flash. His optimism always came with a dash of wild, shaky nerves that he tried hard to hide. Deep down, he felt nervous, but kept up the stride. He hopped in the boat with a grand, joyful leap, but the gas pedal trembled, the pressure too deep. He squeezed it too hard, with a terrible boom, and the boat shot right through the testing room. Mrs. Puff sighed so hard that her cheeks grew quite small. "Oh, SpongeBob," she mumbled, "you failed after all." "But wait," SpongeBob cried, "I have one final plan, a performance so great no one else ever can." He dressed like a robot, with gears and bright lights. He thought to control all the turns and the sights. "I'm perfectly structured. I will not make a fuss." But he couldn't see out of his robot suit truss. He steered with precision, a slow, careful pace. Then, crash. He drove straight into Patrick's small place. Patrick was napping, then woke with a start. "Hey, my rock feels too breezy. Who broke my whole part?" Mrs. Puff's puffiness grew to great size. Smoke curled from her head, and she covered her eyes. "Just tell me, dear boy, what on earth were you thinking? Why is the slow, simple lesson not sinking?" SpongeBob looked down at his robot's bright sheen. "I thought I must try to be perfect and mean, to impress all the rules and the perfect score line, so I couldn't just trust that the driving was mine." "It's not performance," Mrs. Puff gently said, as the air left her cheeks and the smoke from her head. "Just be who you are, sincere, calm, and quite slow. Just drive the small boat and let confidence grow." So SpongeBob took hold of the wheel plain and true. He didn't pass yet, but he knew what to do. With calm in his heart and a lesson well caught, he'd be a great driver. He just had to be taught. The Ballad of the Happy Jelly Net. In a pineapple house, deep under the sea, lived a cheerful square fellow, as happy as could be. His alarm clock went, meow. It was Gary the snail, who woke up his master without fail. "Oh, today," SpongeBob cried, is the day I must try to build a new net that can reach for the sky. Not just any jelly, but the happiest ones, the ones that shine bright like 1,000 suns. He ran to his neighbor, a pink, friendly face, who lived in a rock at a relaxed, sleepy pace. "Patrick, wake up, my slow, starry friend. A joyful new mission we have to attend." Patrick just yawned, then gave a big grin. "Jellyfishing fun? Count me right in." But next door, a clarinet gave a loud beep, waking a grumbling octopus from his sleep. "It's a special new net," SpongeBob explained to the two. "It filters out gloom, leaving only true blue. Jellyfish with smiles who hum a sweet tune, we'll catch them at fields, right under the moon." They packed up their gear, a picnic and glue, then walked to the fields with the happy net new. The flowers were blooming, the bubbles were bright, heading out to catch the happiest light. They swung the net high, they chased with great speed, but catching a jellyfish took more than just need. The net was too fancy, the handle too wide. The happy ones zipped right out of their tide. Patrick sat down, quite tired and slow. "Maybe," he mused, "it's not about show. The jellies are happy because they are free. They're not happier after you catch them, you see." SpongeBob stopped spinning and dropped his big net, a small, simple truth he hadn't learned yet. "You're right, dearest Patrick. The happiness here is watching them dance and having you near." So they put the net down and just watched them float, with joy in their hearts, a shared, silly note. For the greatest delight beneath the sea foam is friendship and fun, right here in their home.